Denver Broncos going to LA to face the Chargers, AFC West divisional game. And is there any team that's going to be feeling relative to where the rest of the league thought they were? Is there any team feeling better right now than the Chargers? I mean, Justin Herbert looks like at this point he's my favorite to win the MVP based on the way he's played through 2 weeks. Was able to knock off the Chiefs in week 1 and then looked great against the Raiders in week 2. Get 2 divisional opponents out of the way, so now they face a third in the Denver Broncos, and who've been, there's no other way to cut it. It's been disappointing. The defense was supposed to be Super Bowl caliber. I think it's fair to say they've been a disappointment. And Bo Nix coming off his rookie season, it looks like there's a sophomore slump brewing. So, had a brutal week 1, and then week 2 looked pretty good throughout the game, but you have a back-breaking interception that kind of overwrites the good that he did. So, there's a lot of concerns right now in Denver considering their expectations. They, like I said, the Chargers have to be one of the teams that are, happiest with how they're doing. The Broncos, they were a sleeper Super Bowl pick for a lot of folks. So they can't be happy with how the beginning of this season has gone. The Chargers are laying 3 points in this game, according to the book that I'm looking at. And yeah, I'm going to be rolling with the Chargers. It's not going to be a big surprise, but they've looked like a well-oiled machine through 2 weeks. And the Broncos, there's a lot of concerns. I don't trust Bo Nix to be able to compete with Justin Herbert. Whether Khalil Mack is healthy is, I think it looked like it was a dislocated. Yeah, I've got the Chargers winning this one and covering the spread. I'll get more into it as we go on, but Christian, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the Chargers, their ability to pass the ball downfield. Doesn't look like any team has a solution for Ladd McConkey, or even like the 3 or 4 catches Quentin Johnston's going to have every game.
Go Frogs.
Keenan Allen looks great. They still haven't gotten what I think they can get out of Amari Hampton and Najee Harris, so the run game can still improve. I thought you saw a lot of blown coverages from the Denver Broncos last weekend versus the Indianapolis Colts. And again, I think it's going to come down to Riley Moss. I think he's going to be the guy that gets targeted all year. He can be a real issue for them going forward. Drake Greenlaw, we don't know if he's going to play. The front seven looks pretty good. Nick Bonito's been playing extremely well. But offensively, it doesn't look like they have a lot of juice in the skill positions. And the Chargers look a lot better. They look a lot more savvy. Their receivers look like, they're on a string with Justin Herbert right now. So I don't see how the Broncos can stop what the Chargers have going for them. And then defensively, I said it before, I think Jesse Minter, probably the number one candidate for a head coaching job right now. He's got these 3 elite safeties. He didn't even have Elijah Molden last weekend, but Alohi Gilman played out of his mind. Derwin is a man amongst men. And Dan Henley looked great. Tier Tart looks like he's been a massive pickup. I just love everything about this team. Khalil Mack, he's not lost for the year. So that's good news considering how serious the injury looked. Ultimately, I think they're going to hold down the fort, take care of business. And yeah, I do have some questions about Bo Nix right now.
Yeah, I largely agree with that. I mean, the Chargers, in my opinion, might be the most complete team in all of football at the current moment. When it comes to what they've got at the skill positions, good running back duo. What I feel like went from a very thin receiving room to now all of a sudden it feels kind of deep with Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston getting off the milk carton and having a fantastic start to this season. Go Frogs. And obviously McConkey is just a technician in the slot. He seems like he's always open. And you mentioned it, Christian, their defense, I think at almost every single level, but especially at safety, but at every level, seems to be tidied up. And Jesse Minter, yeah, I think he's going to be probably the next head coach hired once after the season ends. So I can only look to the Chargers here. I'm a Bo Nix hater. I was a Bo Nix hater when he was coming out of school. I think Sean Payton got the most out of him last year. And yeah, sometimes when a league gets a season to adjust to you and figure out your weaknesses, then teams can do that. I will say for the Broncos, though, they probably should have won last week, albeit a close game. They probably should have won. The offense looked like it was a little bit better. They were disappointing week one against Tennessee for sure. But I get Chargers right now, one of those teams where again they're the opposite of the Texans. They're innocent until proven guilty. Gonna ride that wave until I see something that's concerning. But right now, I think they're the most complete team in football.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw they played Monday night. Henry Still and Derwin James, I think are going to be able to give the Broncos problems. I expect maybe not the same, defensive output from the defensive line, but I mean, if they're able to get any kind of pressure, be up in Bo Nix's face if he's not able to find his first, second, and then third read, I think it becomes really ugly. We've really seen the Broncos not be able to have kind of any sort of semblance of a significant run game. I mean, RJ Harvey has not looked good out of the gate. And I think if your game plan is going to be have Bo Nix drop back about 30, 33, 34, push it to 40 times this game, against that pass rush and with who they have locking down, the weapons that they have, which are not great. And we've seen Bo Nix already make his own amount of mistakes for this. I mean, Justin Herbert's a better quarterback on the offensive side of the ball. Do I expect, being a Marion Hampton guy, do I expect a ton out of this game? No. I would be pleasantly surprised if they were. I think the Broncos are really stout on the defensive side of the ball, especially when it comes up front. But, yeah, no, give me the Chargers just in terms of two levels on defense, better quarterback. I think a better offensive line that's going to be playing from ahead, and it just in terms of how the game will play out. I'm very curious to see though. It's going to be. I'm going to love seeing a little bit of Harbaugh versus Peyton. That'll be some good football cinema. But no, give me the Chargers.
Some fun matchups of the coaches in the AFC West for sure. When you have realistically probably four Hall of Fame coaches battling out there in the same division. But just a couple points that I had where. Another thing about the Chargers is we talk about how complete of a team they are. They haven't even really been able to get their running game going, which is another thing that I think is only a matter of time with how talented Omarion Hampton and Najee Harris Roll Tide are. I think it's only a matter of time before they're able to consistently run the ball. And Justin Herbert, that's another feather in his cap, is that he hasn't even had to really rely or lean on a great run game yet. So I think that'll come, especially as the season goes on and these defenses are a little more debilitated and injured. I think it'll get easier and easier for them to run the ball. But, yeah, so that's another point where I think we haven't even seen the peak of what this Chargers team can do. So I really like the direction they're heading in. And then just one last point, lots of things to be frustrated about as a Broncos fan, especially on the offensive side of the football. But shout out to Troy Franklin, who – started off last season, really had a rough go of it in his rookie year and has now turned it on, has 12 receptions through 2 games. So it's, he's really been able to come into his own with his former college quarterback in Bo Nix. So that's good to see if you're a Broncos fan in terms of that potential. But, man, this AFC West is going to be a gauntlet, and they look like they might have a new best team, a new top dog in the Chargers. So that's the negative of the situation. But hey, if the Broncos are able to knock off this team on Sunday, then it's a whole new ball game. And I think that the AFC West, outside of the Raiders, who I think they just have a hard ceiling with Geno Smith as their quarterback, this could be a fun division. And it's it's going to start if the Broncos are going to be able to get this win. But hey, I'm going with the Chargers. Like you said, Turtle, they're innocent until proven guilty. So I'm going to take the Chargers, and I'm going to take them to cover the 3-point spread as well.
Yeah, I think we're all on the Chargers there. So Max Hammer